She says she can take my husband in 24 hours. I feel the words land like ice water down my spine, sharp and cold, spreading through my chest until I can't tell if I'm furious or fascinated by the audacity. My coffee cup hovers halfway to my lips. The break room suddenly feels too small, too bright, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry insects trapped in glass. Miranda stands there with her perfectly manicured nails wrapped around her own cup, red lips curved into something that might be a smile if smiles could draw blood. My name is Elena. I'm 32, a senior project manager at Sterling & Cross, and I've worked alongside Miranda Chen for 3 years. We've never been friends. She's the type who measures her worth by the size of the rocks on other women's fingers, the price tags on their shoes, the men who turn their heads when they walk by. I've watched her collect admirers like trophies, discarding them when they no longer serve her ego. But this is new. I'm sorry? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Miranda tilts her head, dark hair cascading over one shoulder. Your husband, the one you never talk about, the one who never picks you up, never sends flowers, never even calls during lunch. She steps closer and I catch her perfume, something expensive and cloying. I've done my research, Elena. Alexander Russo. I know who he is, what he is. And I know men like him get bored easily. My heart hammers against my ribs. She knows his name. She's looked into him. 24 hours, she continues, examining her nails. That's all I'd need. One dinner. One conversation. One night of actually appreciating what he has instead of being neglected by a wife who treats him like a ghost. The other women in the break room have gone silent. Sarah from accounting pretends to scroll through her phone. Jessica stares into her yogurt like it holds the secrets of the universe. They're listening. Everyone's always listening when Miranda performs. I set my coffee down carefully on the counter. My hand doesn't shake. That surprises me. You think you know my husband, I say quietly. I know his type. Miranda's smile sharpens. Powerful. Wealthy. Surrounded by beautiful women every day who actually make an effort. Who wear something other than... Her gaze drags over my simple blouse and slacks. Business casual. Something inside me shifts. It's not anger. It's something colder, more certain. I lean against the counter, and maybe it's the way I move, or maybe it's something in my eyes, but Miranda's smile falters. Just for a second. Here's what you don't know, I say, my voice soft enough that she has to lean in to hear. Alexander doesn't call during lunch because he's usually in Tokyo or London or Dubai. He doesn't send flowers to my office because I asked him not to. Once, he sent so many that they had to be distributed to every floor because they wouldn't fit in our department. He doesn't pick me up because he's already home when I get there, cooking dinner because he learned I love his pasta carbonara. Miranda's jaw tightens. But you know what's really interesting, Miranda? I pick up my coffee again, take a slow sip. The fact that you think any of that matters. That you believe a man like Alexander, a man who built an empire from nothing, who reads people the way you read gossip magazines, could be seduced by someone who views him as a conquest. Her face flushes. 24 hours, I say, echoing her words. I'll give you 24 hours to try. The break room erupts in barely concealed gasps. Miranda's eyes flash with triumph. You'll regret this. I smile for the first time. It feels dangerous on my lips. No, Miranda, you will. By the time I get home that evening, my hands are shaking. The penthouse is quiet when I step inside. All floor-to-ceiling windows and twilight spilling across marble floors like liquid gold. The city spreads out below us, a glittering constellation of lights and lives and stories we'll never know. I kick off my heels and pad barefoot through the living room, following the scent of garlic and butter to the kitchen. Alexander stands at the stove, sleeves rolled up, dark hair slightly mussed. He's on a phone call, speaking rapid Italian to someone about a merger, but his eyes find me immediately. They always do. Gray-blue, sharp as winter morning, softening the instant they land on my face. He holds up one finger. 1 minute. And I nod, hoisting myself onto the marble island to wait. This is my favorite version of him. Not the Alexander who faces down boardrooms and makes grown men stutter. Not the one whose name makes stock prices jump and competitors panic. Just this, my husband in our kitchen, making me dinner, his tie discarded somewhere, his guard down. He ends the call and sets his phone face down on the counter with that deliberate finality he uses when he's done with the world and ready to focus on me. Rough day? He moves between my knees, hands settling on my thighs like he's claiming territory that's always been his. I should tell him about Miranda, about her challenge, her confidence, her certainty that she could peel him away from me like old paint. Instead, I loop my arms around his neck. Define rough. His thumb strokes small circles against my skin through my slacks. You have that look, the one where you're deciding whether to burn something down or just walk away. You know me too well. I've made a career of reading people, Kara. He leans in, breath warm against my ear. But you? You're my favorite book, one I never get tired of reading. Heat unfurls low in my belly. 7 years of marriage and he can still do this. Make me feel seen and desired and completely his with just a few words. Someone at work said something, I admit. Someone? His hands tighten fractionally. Who? Miranda Chen, the one I've mentioned before. Understanding flickers across his face. The one who treats life like a competition she's always winning? That's the one, I pause. She said she could steal you from me in 24 hours. Alexander goes very still. Then he laughs, a low, dangerous sound that makes my pulse quicken. She said what? I may have told her she could try. His eyebrows rise. Elena, what? Was I supposed to let her think I'm some neglected wife who doesn't know her husband's worth? I slide my fingers into his hair. Besides, I'm curious to see what happens when someone mistakes your courtesy for interest. He's quiet for a long moment, studying me with that intensity that used to unnerve me when we first met. Now I recognize it for what it is, focus. Complete undivided attention. You're not worried, he says finally. Should I be? No. He says it simply, absolutely. But I don't like the idea of someone disrespecting you, thinking they can... He stops, jaw tightening. I pull him closer. She doesn't know you. She knows your name, your net worth, maybe some gossip from Forbes, but she doesn't know that you hate olives but pretend to like them when my mother makes her Greek salad. She doesn't know that you read poetry in Italian when you can't sleep. She doesn't know that you're terrified of birds because of something that happened when you were 6 that you still won't tell me about. His lips curve despite himself. I told you it was traumatic. Alexander. I frame his face with my hands. Let her try. Let her throw herself at you. And then let her learn what it means to mistake a billionaire's politeness for possibility. Something shifts in his expression. Pride. Mixed with possession, mixed with something darker I can't quite name. You want to teach her a lesson? I want her to understand that some things can't be bought or seduced or taken. I lean in until our lips are almost touching. I want her to realize that you were never the prize. You were always the judge. He kisses me then, hard and claiming, tasting like wine and certainty. When he pulls back, his eyes are storm dark. How do you want to play this? I smile. Exactly the way she doesn't expect. Miranda makes her move 3 days later at the charity gala. I spot her the moment she enters the ballroom, poured into a dress that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. Crimson silk that clings and flows, strategic and stunning. She's done her homework. This is Alexander's annual fundraiser for children's literacy programs. The one event where he's publicly accessible, charming donors and cutting ribbons and being every inch the philanthropic billionaire the media loves to photograph. She doesn't know I helped him start this foundation, that it was my idea, my passion, my way of giving back to kids like I once was, poor, hungry for books I couldn't afford, desperate for escape into stories that showed me a bigger world. I stand beside Alexander in a simple black dress, his hand on the small of my back, watching Miranda work the room. She's good. I'll give her that. She moves through the crowd like someone who belongs, collecting introductions, laughing at jokes, slowly, inevitably, making her way toward us. She's here. Alexander murmurs against my ear. I know. You're enjoying this. I turn to look up at him, maybe a little. His eyes gleam with amusement. Remind me never to make you angry. Too late. You left your socks on the bathroom floor this morning. Unforgivable. His hand slides lower on my back, possessive and subtle. I'll have to make it up to you later. Heat coils through me, but Miranda is closing in. Her trajectory obvious now. Her smile bright and predatory. Mr. Russo, she says, extending her hand. Miranda Chen. I work with your wife at Sterling and Cross. I've been hoping to meet you. Alexander's demeanor shifts so smoothly I almost miss it. From intimate husband to polished. Businessman in the space of a heartbeat. He takes her hand briefly, professionally. Ms. Chen, Elena's mentioned you. Has he really? His delivery is perfect. Neutral, courteous, giving nothing away. Miranda's smile sharpens as she turns to me. All good things, I hope. Of course, I say sweetly. Your foundation is incredible, Miranda continues, focusing back on Alexander. I was just reading about the new libraries you're funding in underserved communities. It must be so rewarding to make such a tangible difference. It is, Alexander agrees. Though the credit belongs more to Elena than me. This was her vision. I just write the checks. I watch Miranda's expression flicker, confusion, recalculation. She'd expected him to take the credit, to bask in the praise. How modest, she says, recovering. But surely someone with your business acumen must have contributed significantly to the foundation's strategy. Actually, Elena runs point on all strategic decisions. I learned early in our marriage not to argue with her when she's passionate about something. His hand flexes against my back. She's usually right. Miranda's jaw tightens fractionally. This isn't going the way she planned. She tries again, angling her body subtly to exclude me from the conversation triangle. I'd love to hear more about your approach to philanthropy. Perhaps we could continue this discussion somewhere quieter. The auction room is less crowded. I don't think so. Alexander's tone remains polite, but there's steel underneath now. Elena and I are about to give the opening remarks. But I appreciate your interest in the foundation. You should speak with our program director, Dr. Sarah Chen. Any relation? She can provide you with detailed information about our work. It's a masterful dismissal. Courteous, professional, absolute. Miranda's eyes flash, but she maintains her smile. Of course. Perhaps another time. Perhaps, Alexander says, in a tone that means never. She turns to walk away, and I catch the fury in the rigid line of her shoulders, the click of her heels against marble. Alexander leans down, lips brushing my temple. Was that what you wanted? That was perfect, I whisper back. She's not done. I know. His hand slides up my spine, fingers spreading wide like he's covering as much of me as he can. Whatever she tries next, I need you to know something. I turn into him, our bodies close enough that I can feel his heartbeat through his tuxedo. What? His eyes are serious now, storm cloud gray in the chandelier light. There is nothing, no amount of money, no promise, no woman on this earth, that could make me forget for even a second what I have with you. What we built. Who you are. My breath catches. 7 years, and he can still say things that make my chest tight and my eyes sting. I know. I manage. No. I don't think you do. He frames my face with both hands, gentle and absolute. You're not just my wife, Elena. You're my North Star. Everything I do, every decision I make, I do it thinking about coming home to you, about being worthy of you. Alexander. He kisses me, deep and claiming, right there in the middle of his own gala with 200 people pretending not to watch. When he pulls back, his eyes are dark with promise. Let her try, he murmurs. Let her throw everything she has at this. It'll only make it sweeter when you win. When we win, I correct. His smile is dangerous and beautiful. When we win. Miranda plays her final card on Friday evening. I'm working late, finishing a proposal that's due Monday, when I get the text from Alexander's assistant, Marco. You should probably come home. Situation developing. My stomach drops. I grab my bag and I'm out the door in 30 seconds flat, not bothering to shut down my computer. Not caring about the proposal or the deadline or anything except getting home. The elevator ride up to the penthouse feels endless. My mind spins through terrible possibilities. An accident, a threat, a problem with one of his companies. But when I step inside, the penthouse is quiet. No chaos. No crisis. Just Alexander sitting on the couch, jacket off, tie loosened, holding what looks like a cocktail napkin with writing on it. What happened? I dropped my bag. Marco texted, Miranda was here. The words hit me like cold water. She what? About an hour ago. Talked her way past building security, claiming she had an urgent message from you about a work emergency. His voice is carefully neutral. By the time I realized she'd lied, she was already at the door. I move closer, trying to read his expression. What did she do? She propositioned me. He hands me the napkin. Then she left this. I look down at the elegant handwriting. One night. No strings. Just two adults enjoying each other. Your wife never has to know. and below it a phone number and a hotel name. Rage floods through me, hot and righteous. That manipulative, Elena. Alexander catches my hand, pulling me down beside him. Look at me, I do. His eyes are calm, steady, almost amused. I told her no. Obviously. I told her that even if I were the kind of man who entertained such offers, which I'm not, I wouldn't be interested. I told her that my wife is the most extraordinary woman I've ever met, and that every day I wake up grateful that she chose me. And then I told her to leave and never contact either of us again. The fury in my chest shifts, transforms into something else entirely, something hotter and more primal. And what did she say? She said I'd regret it. That you didn't appreciate me, that I was wasting my life on someone who didn't understand what I needed. His thumb strokes across my knuckles. Then I showed her to the door and had Marco update security protocols so she can never access this building again. I'm shaking. Not with anger anymore. With the overwhelming reality of how much I love this man. How deeply he understands not just that I trust him, but why I trust him. I should have warned you this might happen, I say. You did warn me. You told me she'd try. He sets the napkin aside and pulls me into his lap, my legs straddling his thighs. What you didn't tell me is how it would feel. How what would feel? Having someone look at me like I'm just a commodity to be acquired. Like the life I've built with you means nothing. Like 7 years of love and partnership and choosing each other every single day could be erased by one night in a hotel room. His hands span my waist, anchoring me. It made me angry, Elena. Really angry. Not because she propositioned me. I've dealt with that before. But because she disrespected you. She assumed you didn't matter. That you were somehow less than her. And that? His eyes flash. That I cannot tolerate. I frame his face with my hands, feeling the slight stubble on his jaw, the warmth of his skin. I'm sorry she put you through that. Don't apologize for her cruelty. He leans into my touch. But I need you to understand something. This game you wanted to play, it's done. Monday morning, I want you to go into that office and finish it. Whatever you need from me, a statement, a conversation with HR, a lawsuit, I'll back you. But I won't have her thinking she can make you feel less than extraordinary. My heart swells so large I think it might crack my ribs. I love you. I whisper. I know. His lips curve. You married me even after I told you about the bird incident. I laugh despite everything, and he captures the sound with his mouth, kissing me deep and slow. His hands slide under my blouse, warm against bare skin, and I arch into him with a gasp. Bedroom, I manage against his lips. Here first. His voice drops to that register that makes heat pool low in my belly, and I'm already fumbling with his tie, his buttons, desperate to feel skin against skin. We make love on the couch like we haven't in years, urgent and claiming and absolutely certain of each other. He touches me like he's remapping territory that's always been his, and I take him like I'm stamping my claim on every inch of him. Afterwards, tangled together with the city lights painting patterns across our skin, he murmurs against my hair. Whatever happens Monday, we face it together. Together, I agree. But I already know what I'm going to do, and Miranda Chen has no idea what's coming. Monday morning, I arrive at the office to find Miranda's desk empty. For a moment, I think she's called in sick, already aware of what's about to happen. But then Sarah from accounting sidles up with wide eyes and a barely contained smile. Did you hear? Miranda's in Mr. Hawthorne's office, has been since 8 a.m. Mr. Hawthorne, our CEO. My pulse quickens, but I keep my expression neutral. Any idea why? Sarah glances around like she's about to share state secrets. Security footage from Friday. Apparently she was caught on camera at some building claiming to be you. Something about gaining unauthorized access. The details are murky, but legal's involved. I feel my lips curve. Interesting. It's not me who reported her. I'd planned something more direct. A conversation in front of witnesses, a careful dismantling of her credibility. But Alexander, it seems, had other ideas. My phone buzzes with a text. Took the liberty of having Marco file a formal complaint about the security breach. Impersonating you to access our home is a crime. Hope you don't mind. AI type back. I love you. His response is immediate. I know. Come home early. I'm making carbonara. By lunch, the entire floor knows. Miranda Chen has been terminated effective immediately for corporate policy violations, falsifying information to gain unauthorized access to a private residence and conduct unbecoming of Sterling and Cross's professional standards. She doesn't come back to collect her things. HR packs her desk while security escorts her from the building. I don't watch. There's no triumph in seeing someone destroy themselves. But that evening, as I walk into the penthouse to find Alexander, at the stove exactly where he promised he'd be, I feel something settle deep in my chest, something like vindication but quieter, more certain. "How was your day?" he asks, not turning from the pan. "Educational." I move behind him, wrapping my arms around his waist, pressing my cheek against his back. Apparently my husband is not only brilliant and handsome but also protective and slightly vengeful. Only slightly? He glances over his shoulder, eyes gleaming. I thought about doing more. Marco talked me down. Remind me to thank Marco. Thank him by eating this carbonara before it gets cold. He plates the pasta with practiced ease, and we settle at the kitchen island. Our favorite spot, our ritual, our ordinary, extraordinary life. Between bites, I tell him everything. How Miranda left without a word. How the office buzzed with speculation. How Jessica from legal mentioned something about a potential lawsuit if Miranda tries to retaliate. She won't, Alexander says with certainty. She's smart enough to know when she's beaten. You sound very sure. I am. He sets down his fork, turning to face me fully. People like Miranda, they measure everything by external markers. Money, status, power. They can't comprehend that some things exist beyond those metrics. That love, real love, isn't something you can strategize or acquire or win. His hand finds mine on the counter, fingers threading together. She looked at our life and saw a transaction. A powerful man and a wife who didn't perform her role with enough flash. She couldn't see what was actually there. Partnership, trust, a relationship built on choosing each other when neither of us had to. When we both had 1,000 other options. I squeeze his hand. You did have 1,000 other options. No, Kara. He brings my knuckles to his lips. I had 1,000 other people, but only one option. Only one woman who looked at me and saw past the money and the name and the reputation to the person underneath. Who called me on my bullshit, challenged. My assumptions made me laugh so hard I forgot to be guarded. My eyes sting. You're making me emotional over carbonara. It's very good carbonara. I laugh, and he pulls me close, wrapping me in arms that have held me through 7 years of joy and struggle and ordinary moments that somehow meant everything. Thank you. I whisper against his chest. For what? For being exactly who you are. For never making me doubt us, even when someone tried to create doubt. For choosing me every single day. His arms tighten. Always. In every version of our life, in every possible timeline, I choose you. You understand that? I nod, not trusting my voice. We stay like that as the city sparkles below us, as dinner grows cold on the counter, as the night deepens and the world keeps turning. Tomorrow I'll go back to work and face the curious looks and whispered questions. Tomorrow I'll rebuild the professional respect Miranda tried to undermine. Tomorrow I'll show everyone that you can't shake a foundation built on 7 years of choosing each other. But tonight, right now, I'm just here. In my husband's arms, in our kitchen, in the life we built together, unglamorous and private and absolutely unshakable. Later, as we're getting ready for bed, my phone buzzes with an email. No sender name, just a message. You win. He was never worth it anyway. I show Alexander expecting anger. Instead, he laughs. That dangerous, satisfied sound I've come to love. She still doesn't get it, he says, taking the phone and setting it aside. This was never about winning. It was about understanding what matters. And she'll spend the rest of her life collecting trophies while missing the point entirely. He pulls me into bed and I curl against him, feeling his heartbeat under my palm, steady and sure. What's the point? I ask. Even though I already know, his lips brush my forehead. That some things aren't prizes to be won. They're gifts to be treasured. And the difference between those two things is everything. I fall asleep smiling, wrapped in the arms of the man who chose me, who keeps choosing. Me who understood from the very beginning that what we have is something Miranda could spend 1,000 24-hour periods chasing and never catch. Because you can't seduce someone away from where they already want to be. You can't compete with coming home. And you can't replace what was never about replacement in the first place. Only recognition. Only love. Only two people who looked at each other and said without hesitation, "You. Always you."